Hello and welcome back to episode 17 of the Liberty for Philly podcast. I'm Mitchell. That's Jared.
We're together
And
for once.
I know, and we don't even have Ben and Alec with us, who unfortunately were unable to come. But then again, we just wanted to give you some time with just ourselves, as it has been forever without us two on the podcast together. And we have a lot to talk about. Philly is in depression mode because of all Philly sports not being good. And the Canadians are actually trying to break the Canadian Stanley Cup curse of all Canadian NHL teams. So let's get straight into it. Let's start with the Philadelphia 76ers. Unfortunately, were kicked out in the second round of the NBA playoffs by the Atlanta Hawks. I will not get my $1,000 from Jared due to Ben Simmons being absolutely god-awful in the playoff series. And I think that's my reason of Jared's. Yeah, I mean – yeah, we'll talk about Ben Simmons and what we're going to do with him in the future. But Trae Young was absolutely
annoying.
Seemed like awful. He got most of his points from either draining. Yeah, he got most of his points from drawing blatant not fouls. And NBA refs, you guys are the worst, and you guys blatantly were not calling any fouls for us. Especially in Game 6 where Joel Embiid did not get to the.
I'd say NHL refs are worse in the playoffs.
Well, NHL refs are definitely worse. Yes,
they swallow the whistles in the playoffs.
But the NBA playoffs. Yeah, but in the NBA,
where NBA refs are the worst in the NBA playoffs. Duh.
A Sixers starter did not get to the free throw line in Game 6 until halfway into the fourth quarter. That seems like a problem. Yeah, and Trae Young, he did well in Game 1 against the Bucks. Was showing off a little bit, and then they proceeded to lose by 24 points in Game 2 to the Milwaukee Bucks. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, so right now, who teams are – we got the Clippers, the Suns, the Bucks, and the Hawks. I want the Bucks and –
I want the Suns to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I want the Bucks, Suns in the finals. I originally said Suns in the finals in my original predictions.
No, you didn't.
And I'm like,
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. I said,
dang.
Yeah,
bro.
I said Sixers, Suns. I know.
Of course you said the Sixers, though, you biased Philadelphia fan.
I know, it was Sixers Phoenix, but I at least made it. The Western Conference, I can make non-biased predictions, but in the East, I can't.
Of course. That's why you should just take out the bias. Just always assume the worst.
Yeah, that's true. All right, and then I'm going to have the Suns winning. I want the Suns. I want CP3 to get his title. He really deserves one. And it'll be even more funny that he comes back and revenges and beats the Clippers and beats the Bucks, which will be
funny.
Hilarious.
Oh, wait, yeah,
however,
the Clippers.
Even though, you got to remember, one of our favorite YouTubers, Tom Grossi, is a Bucks fan.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's from Wisconsin. Or no, he's not.
Yeah,
and he doesn't live there anymore. But
he's from New York now.
No, he lives in New York.
Job as a teacher.
He's not from New York. He's always from Wisconsin.
Yeah, but he quit his job as a teacher yesterday. So
he was a teacher?
Will be able to. Yes, he was a teacher. Oh. And we wish him luck in retirement, even though he might not. He probably doesn't even know we exist, but we wish him well in retirement.
No. He knows I exist. I know that for a fact.
That's true.
I made him laugh a few times on his streams.
Yeah. Let's go and talk about Ben Simmons for a little bit. Ben Simmons shot under 35% from the free throw line in the series.
Beautiful.
As well as he did not score a point in the fourth quarter, and I believe he scored one basket in Game 2 and one basket in Game 1. After that, he scored no points in a game. People are saying Ben Simmons will come back greater than ever.
Yeah, they've been saying that for 5 years, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I believed it last year. I would have sent him off for James Harden, but then again, Maxey and Thibault, who needed to be included in that deal, they have shown great promise, and I would like to keep them.
Who's your favorite Sixer? I would like to ask that.
Well, it's obviously Joel Embiid's always a great guy. It's a very likable.
Because he's also a diehard Eagles fan. That's why.
Yes, and then again in the playoffs, I would say I have to say, other than Joel Embiid, my favorite was Steph Curry.
No, I'm talking about in general. I'm not talking about the playoffs.
Well, in general, Joel Embiid's such the overarching thing. I would have to say Steph Curry's now my favorite. He's going to be he's going to be great for this team in the future. Nah, he's Steph Curry's brother. But anyways, then this damage is beyond repair. He cannot return back to the Sixers. At his current state, he cannot. People are saying he can come back, but Joel, you could see he was obviously frustrated with Ben Simmons pulling up from an easy dunk in Game 7 that would have
I
tied the
forgot
game.
about that. That was almost as bad as him
And
missing the
Joel
dunk.
was frustrated.
Do you remember the one year he missed a dunk against the Celtics in Game, I think, 4?
Yeah. And then also in his post-game press conference, Joel Embiid literally dissed Ben Simmons by saying, this game could have been totally different when we had an open basket and only made 1 point.
Yeah.
And when Joel Embiid starts to get angry,
You're
you've
screwed.
seen, they have, yeah, obviously the franchise now, they decided with Ben Simmons over Jimmy Butler 2 years ago. They're not going to make that dumb decision. Ben Simmons is out here. If Joel Embiid is not going to be happy with Ben Simmons in that locker room, he's not going to be here anymore. So I can definitely see Ben Simmons being traded. However, for whom is the question, and for how
If you
much
say James Harden, I'm going to laugh my tuchus off.
Oh, we're not going to do – I'm looking at
That's
a couple
not going to
people.
happen.
So we got the obvious, maybe, and we have dream. Let's start with obvious. Obviously, we could probably be able to pull CJ McCollum or a Roko from
Sixers front office won't be able to do any of that, trust me.
Well,
it's the Sixers front office. What do you expect?
Well, it's Daryl Morey now. So
and
all of Daryl Morey's moves this year have done outstanding. Elton Brand's moves, however, have done horrible. You got to remember that.
Wait, when did Elton Brand get fired?
He's not fired. He's technically the GM, but like Daryl Morey's the president of basketball operations. So yeah, it's the same thing in baseball with the Phillies. It's kind of like that thing where Dave Dombrowski is the president of baseball operations, but followed as the GM, basically. It's weird. But CJ McCollum and Roko are obviously have been rumored to be offered in a Ben Simmons hypothetical trade. Then there's also the Warriors are showing interest. However, I'm gonna go straight to my dream, Steph Curry. That would be obviously the dream scenario of basically giving up your entire future. Even. That will happen. But however,
that's a dream I'm saying.
Yeah, like it's like if you're going to trade for Curry, obviously you're trading probably Tyrese Maxey, Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, and 2 first-round picks for just Steph Curry and probably who's the other guy? Andrew Wiggins. That's probably what you'd be trading.
Isn't that dude just a contract like a wait now? Andrew Wiggins.
He actually performed well. However, I've heard. All right. Let's stick with my last possibility. I'm gonna say. What's his name? He played DeAndre Rosen. I think is now.
DeMar DeRozan. You mean?
DeMar DeRozan. Thank you.
He's a choker
for the Spurs. Yes, he is. But however, he's been rumored for obvious reasons.
To choke somewhere else.
Yeah. And then there's now we're going to go to the maybes, which have been higher level trades, obviously, where the Sixers will have to pay more in order to get more in return. This is going to sound like a dream. However, it has been rumored that the Sixers would be willing to pay the price for Damian Lillard of the Trailblazers. It has been coming rumors that Damian Lillard has been growing uneasy with all the trade talks or trade rumors surrounding him in the organization of Portland. Portland obviously does well every year, carried by Dame
it's the Damian Lillards. It's like the Milwaukee Giannis. Yes. It's the Portland Damians.
Exactly. However, even with them, like Giannis is able to go deeper into the playoffs. However, the Trailblazers are always out by the second or first round. And he's finally tired of this. He wants to spread his wings and go on to a team where he has a chance to win a title. And that's where I've seen today that most likely Portland is willing to trade him, granting a formal trade request.
You really can't get anything. You can't pull more than Damian's value. That would be stupid.
But he's been apparently the teams that are able to match the value that the Portland Trailblazers want in return is the Philadelphia 76ers, the Miami Heat, and the Boston Celtics. Out of those,
I honestly want to see him to go to Boston just to piss off everybody from this fan base.
That's true. However, the Sixers do have the best offer in return. What I seen was a mix of picks, Ben Simmons, and either Shake Milton for an extra first round pick or
Oh,
decrease
that
Shake
reminds me.
Milton.
Speaking of the Celtics, did you see Kemba Walker is gone?
Yes, he is on the OKC Thunder. Aha! Thank you for reminding me. That is one of my possibilities of a Ben Simmons trade is to trade him
Yeah,
to
I think that was
OKC
his
for Kemba
best. That was
Walker.
like voted his best location.
Yes, Kemba Walker. He's a decent player. He always killed us when he played in Charlotte.
And not so much in
He
Boston
didn't
though.
kill
That's
us
more of a
as
Jason
well
Tatum
when we
thing.
played him this year in Boston. Um, I wouldn't mind Kemba Walker, to be honest with you. However,
I would like Kemba Walker,
is he a
but
point guard or a shooting guard?
doesn't matter. He can
Is
shoot.
he a
That's all
point
we
guard or
need.
shooting guard?
That is all. No, I don't
Because
think it
that's the
matters.
thing.
I think he was a point guard at
Well,
UConn. I know
why
that.
I'm asking. Well, the point I'm asking is because I believe the Sixers will sign Kyle Lowry in the free agency this
I
year,
don't,
and I'm
because you
thinking
said
they
that
could
last
center
time.
a Ben Simmons trade around another thing. Well, that was a trade. I didn't say sign him in free agency. And then again, we can offer him that money without losing Tyrese Maxey or Matisse Thybulle in the trade. Obviously, we might need to do that. Hey, the Phillies are winning 3-2 now. That's surprising. Sack fly by Nick Maton and McCutcheon scored.
Nice.
Anyways, so basically what I'm saying is the Sixers, I really want them to see. I tweeted this out as a comment, I believe, the other day. And I think I said my dream scenario would be to see Kyle Lowry. And in this scenario, we trade Tobias Harris away for
I don't know if anybody's going to want that contract.
Well, that's the thing. I had a hypothetical trade in my situation that we trade Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris and who was it? Shake Milton to either Portland or Golden State for Curry or Damian Lillard. One of those two. Most likely Damian Lillard in this case because Steph Curry probably isn't going anywhere. But I've heard more rumors about how the Warriors might trade away Klay Thompson due to the fact that he's been injured for 2 consecutive seasons.
It's not his fault that, okay, it kind of is his fault that he's blowing out everything. But I mean, like,
would you trade for Klay Thompson?
Maybe fix the wood.
Would you trade for – yeah, but would you trade for an injured Klay Thompson?
Yeah.
So let me add that.
What would we trade though? That's the question. That's my burning question.
All right, so this is my – so in all these scenarios, I'm saying the Sixers
honestly,
Klay
Thompson could probably do better shooting than with a torn Achilles than Ben Simmons does normally.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. So obviously your center is going to be Joel Embiid. It's writing this down, so it's easier to say. Joel Embiid, going to get your Supermax extension. He's with the team for the next 5 years. Then you move to your point guard position. I believe that the Sixers will still, in this scenario, I'm going to say the Sixers do sign Kyle Lowry in free agency. So I'm going to put him in at the point guard position. Then we got our shooting guard. Now here's where you go. I'm going to say Curry is going to be our not Steph Curry, the cheaper one. Goes at the small forward.
The cheaper one. That's really how you're viewing it.
I mean, yeah, true. So shooting guard. Here's your options. In here, in this position, I would like Dame or Thompson. Obviously, for either one, you need to give up Ben Simmons and probably Tobias Harris too. And this is where it gets really tricky. This is what I'm thinking here. It's going to be which one do you want to see? Do you want to see Portland or the Golden State trade first?
I really don't care.
So here's the thing. If you're trading for Klay Thompson, obviously you're going to trade them, most likely Shake Milton and Ben Simmons to Golden State. Therefore, in return, we receive Klay Thompson. However, this is where I get in. We add in the Dallas Mavericks as a third team in this trade to get money settled. In that trade, we trade Tobias Harris to the Dallas Mavericks for Kristaps Porzingis and Boban Marjanovic, or who's that one guy on their team? Oh, and JJ Redick. That's my trade.
Oh, Redick?
Yes, well, I think he's a free agency. I'm not 100% sure about that.
I don't
But
know.
I would say maybe we get somebody in return along with Kristaps, but granted, Dallas would probably want something more for more people.
Kristaps going from New York and then to Philadelphia.
In the Philly. So then
in
that thing, my lineup would be Joel Embiid, Kristaps Porzingis, Seth Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kyle Lowry.
Okay.
While that might take a lot to get used to and a lot to get, however, I do believe that is a great lineup. Porzingis wants to be starting, and he did not get that opportunity and did not perform well in Dallas. Therefore, I think his value is lowered. However, I do believe he can perform on a healthy season. And then with that, I think we do get Tony Bradley back because we do own his rights. So I think we can bring him back. So he'll probably be Joel Embiid's backup. And then maybe we re-sign Dwight Howard to a veteran minimum. And with those trades, you're not giving up Matisse Thybulle and Tyrese Maxey. However, then again, in Golden State, they might want Maxey or Thybulle instead of picks because picks can go either way. But I still believe that would be a great lineup.
Yeah, we'll look at anything
to see in the future. Yeah, then again, with this lineup, you have proven players. You get a superstar in Klay Thompson and Kyle Lowry to play along with your own superstar in Embiid. Then you have two great former Dallas Mavericks, to be honest. I mean, they would be Kristaps Porzingis and Seth Curry.
Maverick of all time.
Then I'm not going to change your mind because that is a true statement. Then again, you have to, if this lineup goes wrong,
hopefully
you gotta start looking at other reasons. Then again, Doc Rivers.
No. The main reason Doc Rivers. That's part of it. I warned you about that.
Yeah, but he does.
But you didn't listen.
Yes, he does that by playing his bench, and yeah, he does his bench. He uses his bench too much, and you need to leave your starters in. And
not necessarily.
I can understand with Joel Embiid. Well, in Game 7, the most used lineup was George Hill, Shake Milton, Tyrese Maxey, and Dwight Howard and somebody. I can't remember his name.
Joel.
And apparently the Phillies are forgetting how to field a baseball because Jack Fritz.
They never remembered how to.
And by tweeting field the baseball.
Mitchell, but they never knew how to field.
So that is my rant.
Phillies still don't know how to field a baseball. They never forgot because they never learned. But anyway, another thing. Speaking of not playing your starting lineup, I just learned recently that NHL teams, I feel like the Flyers are the only team that actually like start their first line. Nobody starts their first line and like right off the bat in the game. Like that's not.
Yeah, nobody does that anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So
the Flyers are like the only team that do that. That's why.
Let's go into the. All right, let's go into the what's it called? The NHL now. NHL playoffs are officially almost completed as we have now reached the final round. We have finally made it to the Cup final. Instead of seeing what would have been the Why Are We Here final with the New York Islanders and the Montreal Canadiens.
Is it still Why Are We Here final? Let's be real here.
Let's be honest. The Canadiens were not expected to be this
Why Are We Here?
And if you think on a high note for your Philadelphia Flyers fans, we were the last team to officially beat the Canadiens in a playoff series. So feel good about that, Philadelphia.
No one cares because it doesn't mean anything. Also,
former brief Flyer, Eric Gustafson, is on the Canadiens now. So that's interesting.
Although I don't want Carey. I mean, as much as I want Carey Price to win a title, I freaking hate the Canadiens. So I hope they lose.
Yeah, they were.
Although I hope both teams lose. This is we're fricked the playoffs. This is we're fricked the Stanley Cup Finals.
So either the most winningest team, I believe, in the NHL,
in the Stanley Cup, at least in the Stanley Cup.
Yes, in the Stanley Cup. Yes.
Although the question is, who's won the most in the expansion era? Yeah, probably still the Canadiens.
That's true.
Because
when was the last team to win back-to-back titles?
The Canadiens won 6 times in the 70s.
They did. Jared, who was the last team to win back-to-back titles in the NHL? The Penguins, right?
Yeah, because nobody else is even – the last team to do it before that was the Red
So,
Wings in the 90s.
yep, and then it was the Flyers, I think.
No, before that, no. The Canadians
No,
the
Islanders
Canadians won
of
4
the
in a row.
80s,
The
right?
Islanders and Canadians won 4 in a row before that. But the Flyers were the first expansion team to win a Stanley Cup.
I was going to say, that's true. So, basically, you can either have Canadian teams break the curse, or you're back-to-back champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Not gonna lie, I would rather have that.
To be honest, I want the Canadians
because
to
I
win.
also don't want Penguins fans saying they were the last ones to go back-to-back.
True. Toxic Penguins fans or happy Canadians?
Toxic anybody is not good.
So, how did we get here? The Canadians beat the No, they didn't. They beat the Maple Leafs, and they beat the
they came back from a 3-1
Winnipeg Jets.
And they beat the Knights.
And then they beat the Winnipeg Jets.
Did you
and
know
then
since
now they're
2010,
here.
the only Stanley Cup champion that didn't have a series-winning overtime goal was actually the 2015 Blackhawks?
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, impressive.
So then we have the Tampa Bay Lightning. They did not choke their first round series this year. Great start. Then they won the second round matchup against the first round they played the Florida Panthers.
Tampa.
Second round they played.
They beat Florida.
Yes, and then
they beat Florida, and then who?
Who did? Oh, the Hurricanes. They played Hurricanes and beat them. And then they just beat the Islanders in a Game 7. It was a great series. Sad to see the Islanders lose. They were showing great promise. Trotz is a great coach. I can say that. He took that team that seemed like it would not be doing anything.
He was able to win a lot with the Predators team, but that had nobody really, other than Patrick Hornquist.
Well, he did. He did win a lot of participation trophies with the Predators.
He got to the second round with them.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, the Predators team, all they had was Pekka Rinne and then a pre-prime Patrick Hornquist.
I mean, he's too good right now, so.
Oh, and Shea Weber. They had Shea Weber.
But Jared, you got to remember, Pekka Rinne is too good right now, so.
No, he wasn't too good right now yet either.
All right, moving on. Who do you think will win this? Game 1 is obviously going to probably be in Tampa because they're the higher seed.
Tampa, not obviously, probably. It is in Tampa.
And Canada is still not allowing full houses, and they started to allow back.
The Canadians even play their series? They played it in Canada, right?
They played. Yep. They played in.
I just realized I said Canada like a dumbass.
Yeah. Yes, they played in the Bell Center in Montreal.
I didn't realize that they were allowing them across the border.
Well, the thing is, they gave a special clearance to U.S. teams to go in. However, they're not allowing other outside Canada fans into the stadium, and they are only allowing a small portion, like 10% or something in. But however, if you saw the streets of Montreal, it was packed outside the stadium. So I don't see why not. You just let all the vaccinated people in. But Canada's weird.
I'm willing to bet some people aren't vaccinated going in.
I don't know. Canada's weird. They don't say anything.
What?
But Florida is going to be 100% capacity, and
it's Florida.
Yeah, I mean
that's all true. I need to say, honestly.
So I'm thinking Montreal will. So I'm thinking Tampa Bay will probably win the first 2 games of the series. Then Montreal would win Game 3. I believe they win in overtime Game 4 in front of their own.
Oh, you're going the overtime route. Ooh, that's bold.
Yes, and then in Game 5 in Tampa. Yeah, Game 5 in Tampa. Well, the Phillies have no bases. I mean, the Mets have bases loaded with no outs in the bottom.
Oh, wonderful!
So that's epic. I think that Tampa wins Game 5 in Tampa, and I do believe the Lightning will win 6 games. I could definitely see this going 7. However, the Canadians will really need some more of that magic they have been riding all the way through the playoffs because they seem to win all of their games in overtime. And it really depends on how great Carey Price is on the
I
day.
think it's going to be a battle of the goalies, speaking of, yeah. Vasilevskiy, Price.
So what do you think? Who do you think's
I think
winning
whoever
how
the better
many games?
goalie is going to win it. So either
Who do you think
Vasilevskiy, Price. I think Carey Price is probably the best player in the playoffs right now. So if it comes down to
So
that,
you
I
think
think
Carey?
win.
And how many games do you think?
6. I always
6.
say
All right. I want the
it's
Canadians to
always
win. However, I decided to go on
No.
them.
Or should we go for the
Lightning
meat?
6.
Lightning in 3.
3.